recreate that slope. The side slopes have to lose the side yard has to lose all of its vegetation.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, if that's how today's regulations are, I don't see a way to, I'm sure we can get creative, but I don't see a way where we can allow something that goes against the regulations, and then any vegetation that got destroyed by removing the non-conforming structure would be on the applicant to replace. Yeah. So I mean, that habitat, I understand the longevity.
It's like super established
right
stuff.
So it doesn't happen overnight.
Your access is over that wall, isn't it?
Yes.
So how much, if we're talking about existing area and say you're only going to take up this side, that was already going to get removed, not removed, but you were already removing that vegetation. So pretty much half of the area that we're talking about is going to be replanted.
It would be, yes, correct.
We're already halfway there.
Some more
so if we get halfway higher.
Yeah, what I think we should do is just continue to the next meeting and let's see if there's got to be a solution here. There's got to be.
I'm going to need the 16th too because I'm in Falmouth on the 2nd.
Okay, all right.
I know if you guys would Zoom, I could try to.
We're working on it.
We're getting stuff there.
We got this thing.
All right, we'll do a motion if someone wants to do the motion. We'll continue. The 16th.
I'll move to continue DEP file number SE662044, Matthew and April Forbes, care of Merrill Engineers and Land Surveyors at 101 North Shore Boulevard, Sandwich, Mass. 537 to the April 16th Conservation Commission. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I'll shoot you guys an email tomorrow about that address.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
you can send me the approval.
I want to know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We do not have any extensions on the agenda. We have some certificates of compliance. I guess just instead of opening them, we'll just go one by one and see how they're all looking.
Sure. However you want to do it.
Yeah, we'll do that. So the first one is this file number SE66-1640 for 52 Salt Marsh Road.
Yep, that one was, I believe, for primarily sand renourishment and vegetation. I did a site visit on probably the windiest day ever, but everything was well vegetated and stabilized. There was no grass blowing around or anything. It looked fine. So I recommend a complete COC.
Okay. I'd like to issue a certificate of compliance for DEP file number SE66-1640. Gene Jordan, care of Prime Engineering, filed a notice of intent for dune nourishment, 52 Salt Marsh Road, Sandwich, located at map 76, parcel 35.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Jenna, did you do the site visit?
I did.
So then, all right, so we'll look at file number SE66-1651, Peter Wild, 46 and 64 Roos Road.
That one did a site visit this morning, met with both Peter Wild and representation. Everything along with that notice of intent, I believe, was for relocation of an existing single family to a new location. That house has since been picked up and moved. So it looks fine. Everything has been stabilized. The house looks great. It's that smaller house right behind the pond there. So I didn't have any issue with a complete COC recommendation for that either.
All right, I'd like to issue a certificate of compliance for DEP file number SE66-16151, Peter Wild, Care Conservation Inc., filed a notice of intent for proposed relocation of existing single family to a new location at 46 and 64 Roos Road, East Sandwich, located at map 69, parcels 24 and 25.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and then DEP file number SE66-1623, Peter Wild, same 46 Roos Road. How did that one look?
I did that one this morning as well in the same swoop. That was originally for the raise and rebuild of the existing larger house there at number 46, and then was later amended for a ground-mounted solar array, which it seemed to be in fine working order, very well vegetated site. Solar arrays raised up a little bit on concrete slabs. Looks very stable. There's an electrical box that looked fine as well. I have no issues with a complete COC as well for that one.
All right, I'd like to issue a certificate of compliance for DEP file number SE 66-1623 AM 1 Peter Wild Care Sabation Inc. filed an amendment to a valid order of conditions proposing to build a solar field at 46 Roos Road, East Sandwich, Mass, located at map 69, parcel 25.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moved. Okay. All right, and then DEP file number SE 66-1113 Bruce Harper at 313 Phillips Road.
Also did a site visit over on that side of Sandwich. That was for a septic replacement. The site was well vegetated, and I believe the septic went under the driveway, so really wasn't that much impact to the dune itself over there. The as-built they submitted was the one that was accepted by the Board of Health, which we accept those in the same, in the same caliber there. So, yeah, complete COC for that one as well.
Okay. All right, I'd like to issue a certificate of compliance for DEP file number SE 66-1113 Bruce Harper, care of CJ Engineering, filed notice of intent for a septic system repair at 313 Phillips Road, Sandwich, Mass, located at 95 parcel 12.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, perfect. We did other business at the beginning of the agenda. We'll do approval of minutes. Did everyone look at those? And
So I wanted, I meant to, I wanted to say no on my abstentions. I wanted to vote no. Which says-
Yes, I think you, did I not, which one was it?
The two, the 167% increase in habitable space one.
For sure. Okay, so you voted no on that?
Yeah.
Not abstained?
That's right. As well as the,
Okay.
I think you could.
And the other one was 345 Phillips. I have you down as abstain.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so that one's good?
That one's no.
That one's a no. Any other changes? Okay.
we can approve that next meeting.
You can approve it now. If
Okay,
you want,
yeah.
with just
With
those
the
two
changes?
changes, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of 3/5/2025 with the minor changes.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you, Lee. Okay, they're good? All right. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the March 19th, 2025 Sandwich Conservation Commission at 7:40 PM. All in favor? Moved. Please, thank you.
Okay, can we call the Select Board meeting to order, please, for March 13th, 2025, here in Historic Town Hall at 7 PM. I would just like to remind everyone to make sure that their mics are on and to speak into them. Thank you very much. May we start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And while we're standing, if I can ask for a moment of silence for Tom Cahir. He was a state representative who was a terrific ally of the town of Sandwich. Thank you. Anyone for public comment? Please step up and state your name, and you'll have 5 minutes to address the auditorium.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gene Perini, and I live at 6 Piccadilly Road. and it's a pleasure to be with all of you tonight. The other day, I spoke at the Finance Committee Public Forum, and I mentioned, how fortunate we all are to live in this beautiful coastal town, along with the wonderful people who make up our community. I also mentioned that living in our town must be affordable for our residents, which is increasingly becoming more difficult. Recently, the Select Board voted to approve the town budget with a 6.05% increase for the general government side and roughly a 6% increase for the school and Upper Cape Tech side. And during that whole budget process, we heard from advocates from the police department, fire department, highway department, school department, and Upper Cape Tech. But there were no elected officials that advocated for the residents of our town with regard to budget increases. There were no elected officials that mentioned how much of an impact this would be for the average tax bill or the average taxpayer. The average real estate tax bill has increased over $1,000 over the past 3 years. The general government budget has increased by over 28% over the past 5 years, amounting to almost $16 million. And this is likely to continue as we continue to build more government buildings. And in addition to that, we're also increasing fees across the board. And with that, according to my conversations with the town treasurer, the town is now $53 million in debt, and that is also likely to go up, as the town will soon ask residents to approve the new highway department building and the fire station. All at a time when Sandwich residents are facing unprecedented increases to their auto insurance bills, homeowners insurance, and heating bills, including gas and electric. And soon, the governor will introduce legislation allowing cities and towns to increase hotel, meals, and excise taxes. So it is time that our select board work to hold the line on tax and fee increases. It is time that the select board look for ways to develop a budget with no or very minimal tax increases. It can be done. It has been done. Also, at that finance committee, I was surprised and very disappointed by the way the school superintendent responded to Mr. Johansson's question on the school budget. Apparently, the school superintendent did not like the questions, so he berated our town resident. And I think we have an expectation in the town of Sandwich that our school superintendent answer questions from residents with respect and professionalism. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Perini. Okay. Review and approval of minutes. The first set for February 27th of 2025.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes of February 27th, 2025 as submitted.
Motion by Mr. Hockter, second by Mr. Ellis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye with one abstention, right? review and approval of minutes for March 6th, 2025.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of March 2025.
Second.
Motion by Mr. George, second by Mr. Hockner. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 4-0. Town manager report.
Just a few quick updates. Finance Committee met Tuesday night, and as Mr. Perini said, Superintendent of Schools at Upper Cape Tech, Roger Forget, was in to give his budget presentation, and then Finance Director Bill Jennings did an overview of the capital budget, and Dr. Maruschek did highlight some of the school capital items. There was some illness on the Capital Improvement Planning Committee, so they had to cancel their meeting last Monday night, but they plan to meet this coming Monday, I believe, at like 4 or 5 o'clock at 100 Route 6A. And my guess is they'll be taking their final votes on the capital part of the budget. Next Tuesday night at the Finance Committee is sort of an open invitation for any questions that they have. So far, the only one we've seen in writing relates to the Department of Public Works, so Paul Tilton's going to come in and address that about the additional public infrastructure funding and what that would, just show examples of what that would do, similar to what we've looked at. And so for that meeting, that's it. We're not planning to meet next week unless the board decides to. The meeting after that, we are going to do a public hearing on the short-term rental general bylaw that's been proposed, and Leanne Drake's going to come in to go over that with us, the Director of Community Development. She's also going to touch on the 2 zoning articles that the Planning Board is holding a public hearing on, I believe, next week and taking final votes on. And then at the board's request, I think 3 other department heads, Ben Steich, Taylor White, and Dave Sullivan are going to come in just to highlight those 3 articles, which we'll touch on when we go over the warrant in a bit. So we should be catching up on those. Just met yesterday afternoon with town moderator Sean Roush, and Sean talked about wanting to do this, and we touched base. So I think the plan is to hold what he would call like town meeting school, a short meeting, and it's been set for Wednesday, April 16th, up at the Center for Active Living at 5 o'clock. Just to give an overview of voting, the voting machines that we have, sort of how motions are handled in accordance with town meeting time. Asked me to put together like just not even relevant for this town meeting. We're not going to go through the articles. It's more just town meeting in general. Just on how articles are worded, with town council's advice and why we have to make them as broad as possible, but it's the motion that specifies. So just a quick outreach session, open to the public, and again, the plan for that is to be Wednesday, April 16th at 5 o'clock at the Center for Active Living. And then lastly, just to touch on, similar to what Charlie said about Tom Caher, one of the hardest working people I've ever met in my life. I think I met him the first Friday I worked for the town, because as our state rep, he would come every single Friday morning, no matter what, at 9 o'clock. And he would meet with people downstairs. It was an open invitation. As you'd expect, 95% of the time, no one was there. So we would talk sports. We would just, talk life. And he, Chris Whalen, and I, and then once Chris went on, I was there. And, just an unbelievable person who did so much, not only for our town and all of Cape Cod when he eventually became the director of the CCRTA. I've been fortunate enough since I started till now, I'm still on that board, so was part of that group that when Tom was hired there, it doesn't seem like it's possible 16 years ago. And when that vacancy occurred, they actually asked Sandwich to run the search process. So Marie Buckner ran the search process. So when she heard Tom died, we both said, like, I hate to say it, we're probably going to do it again, which doesn't seem possible. So, and as much as he did for all of us, like, so passionate about the town of Bourne, he loved that place. And just, we lost a friend.
Anybody else? Okay. Correspondence, statements and announcements. Okay, I've just got a couple just to reiterate briefly. The Finance Committee meeting on Tuesday night. Progress, good discussion and progress. And the next meeting, as Mr. Dunham said, is next Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. School committee met yesterday. Strategic Planning Committee continues to meet and absorb input from various perspectives. I-Ready benchmark assessment data was presented, and a technology update was presented. Progress. School safety met this morning. Upcoming drills are being formulated. Progress. Thank you. Staff meeting none. Old business. FY 2026 budget update.
Yeah, so just quickly highlight the bigger aspects of the budget. Nothing has changed since the board voted last week to recommend the copy of the one-page summary that's in your packet. Couple things to highlight. If you look at the grand total of what's planned to be spent at town meeting on that one-page summary, it's 2.73% in total above what was voted last May. So, you know, I know some things go up more, some things go down, but the grand total of everything compared year to year is 2.73%. And then I can't remember if I handed this out last week, but there is a summary of the estimated tax impact, as was mentioned, of the optimal outcome budget, and all the other things that are being funded from the tax levy, including our debt, which the public voted for and supported, otherwise it wouldn't appear there. For the average tax bill increase is estimated to be right around $290 annually for an average home that right now is valued just over $717,000. The other information in your packet budgetarily are the breakouts of each individual general government department budget, what we've tried to fund from that FY25 and beyond program last year and this upcoming year. The FY26 capital requests, again, the items that are highlighted in yellow are awaiting the vote from the Capital Improvement Planning Committee, and those are some school department, just general capital needs, which they explained on Tuesday night. We're going to be focused on additional school security efforts, both video cameras and locking mechanisms for school doors, some of which has already been done and funded in prior years, and then this would take it to the next level. And I think they had said that it might not fully do the high school, so that might be done in two different phases. And then there's two vehicles that they just asked for more information. I don't believe that they didn't support them. They just wanted more backup. So that's been provided for those two. So in terms of the budget, you know, I know there's some additional meetings of the committee, but I haven't heard anything that we haven't been able to like get information on. But if anyone has any questions, nothing's really changed. And then